What if I told you there were no fish in this episode? That we traveled to an exotic fishing lodge in Central America and got blanked? Zilch. Goose egg. Like we all do. Would you still watch? I'm not saying you won't see fish.
Yeah! Look at him go, look at him go.
Yeah!
What I'm saying is there's a place so special, it almost makes you forget the days you got skunked. At El Pescador in Belize, impatience is a deadly sin. So lean back, listen, wait your turn, and the sun will turn blind men into seers of grand slams, and lions will rise from the dead. Don't come expecting fish to multiply like some biblical parable. The beauty of Ambergris Caye is the miracle. The rest is up to you and your new family. Something is wrong. The puddle jumper that departed Belize City has taken a wrong turn and ended up on some water planet out of George Lucas's imagination. The kind of blue only science fiction can invent. But it's not science fiction. It's Ambergris Caye. Bordered by Mexico to the north and Guatemala everywhere else, Belize is tucked into the middle of Central America, its coastline facing east into the Caribbean. Ambergris Caye is a skinny island on the country's northern tip. The small town of San Pedro is the closest thing to a main hub. Belize has the lowest population density in Central America. That's because most of the land area is sand beaches, mangroves, wetlands, seagrass, and coral reefs that make for a force in ecotourism. Snorkeling, diving, and of course, what we're here for. It's a quick ride from San Pedro to El Pescador. We're away from home, but it's closer to home than away. You take your shoes off upon arrival and don't use them again until departure. The lime butter popcorn at the bar is spectacular, a simple family recipe. Visitors leave behind signed hats, the coolest guest book ever. The fishing lodge is now in its 43rd year of operation, and its 20th year with the Spiro family. Family. You're going to hear that word a lot. It's the fuel that powers this place.
When we originally were here, the staff shirt said El Pescador team. After a couple of years, one of the staffs came with a couple of buddies for support and said, Miss Chris, if you are ordering new shirts, could we say family? We are a family. And so from then on, for all these years, it says El Pescador family.
The blood relations here are thick. We need help keeping it all straight. Marlon Rodriguez, the head of guest relations, breaks it down.
First of all, we all came because of Lupe. Oh, she's my aunt. When I came, I brought Isa, who is my brother, and then Isa brought my uncle, which is Tomas. And then we have our maintenance head, which is Byron. He brought his wife. Then he has his sister-in-law. He has his brother, Cian, and then his brother, Emir. And then Mariano, bartender, got married with Lizette. So they all make it family as well. And then we have Teresa, head of waitressing. Then she brought, who did she brought?
Roshan.
Roshan. We have Mr. Ephraim and Samuel, who is Mr. Ephraim is Samuel's godfather. And then I would say that's all about everyone who is family relative here. Yes.
At El Pescador, there's a family reunion every day. There are 400 square miles of water to explore, stretching from the Mexican border to Belize City. And every guest's goal? The 3 silver medals of the Flats Olympics: tarpon, bonefish, and permit. The Grand Slam. Ambergris Caye, equal parts resort town, carnival, and Wild West frontier outpost. Golf carts are the main form of transport, and the signature entertainment is the chicken drop, where onlookers bet on which number the chicken will, well, drop on. But the town is just an added bonus, as it's Belize's flats that attract anglers, and more specifically, fly fishermen. Some relate to the art of it, others, the mechanics. The key to fly fishing is to throw the line. The fly is just along for the ride. Getting your cast right takes a lot of practice, and most saltwater fly fishermen only get to do it once or twice a year. You can cast in your yard all you want, but when the moment comes, it's hard not to get the shakes.
You gotta start from scratch, right? Because it's a hard sport to start with. And let's say you start with bones, you gotta practice your cast. It all depends on what fish you want to target. It takes a lot of practice because it took me a long while to get really good on the fly rod, right? Until here, it's better to just practice, get a good teacher, then you could concentrate on getting some fish, right?
Luckily, where there is saltwater fly fishing, there is spin fishing. If you can throw a spinning rod, you can come to Belize. Before hitting the flats, let's review the checklist. With its dry hide shell and hydrolock zipper, the Yeti Hopper Flip 12 is a personal cooler that delivers professional performance. Fly and spinning are both options in the Ambergris Caye flats. Penn's variety of rods and reels has us covered. Costa Sunglasses pairs a sleek look with nearly indestructible frames and 100% polarized lenses. King Sailfish release mounts. Provide a picture, and KSM will create a beautiful mount that matches your catch down to the smallest detail. Intense research and testing created Spiderwire's toughest nail superline, fluorocarbon, and monofilament. Simrad's handheld VHF radio has integrated GPS, crisp audio, and features like plotting and navigation modes. Typically, skinny water like this calls for the Yellowfin 17 skiff, and it's powered by the lightweight Mercury 115 Pro XS. But El Pescador has its own armada of rough and tumble pangas. The combination of wind, boat pressure, and shallow water make it tough to hook the easily spooked bonefish. But the fly rod makes up for the noise and movement. The average bonefish is small here, ranging from 1 to 3 pounds. A trophy is just 7 pounds. A featherweight for sure, but nevertheless, check the box on the Grand Slam scorecard.
Got him.
Bonefish.
Introducing the next charter member of the Grand Slam. Unfortunately, this cold front isn't giving up. Weather permitting, we may have some success.
Permit on, man. Yeah.
While you don't have to go farther than the dock to fish the flats, we opt for the outer reaches. The Pengas carve through the blue en route to Bacalar Chico Marine Reserve, a national park and UNESCO World Heritage Site an hour north of El Pescador.
All right, boys, this is Belize. To the right, Mexico to the left side. You want to go to the town? Drink Mexican beer? Yeah.
We shift gears to spinning. Luckily, bait is not in short supply.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Something big.
While they're not Grand Slam members, these Jack Crevalle keep us plenty entertained. Fast, powerful, aggressive. Bad news for bad backs. Thankfully, the shallow water doesn't let them dive deep. We keep them clearly in sight. So do the frigate birds.
This is all permit water. A lot of water to check.
A silver slab with marble eyes. Permit are no easy feat. First, stay back. You may think you're being stealthy, but the permit already knows.
Good shot, good shot, good shot, good shot.
And once they're spooked, even the most delectable crustacean will be rejected. Better be accurate. Casting a heavy crab 70 feet into the wind on target doesn't come with luck.
When you throw a shot and that you're watching, that you see that nothing is going on, you gotta bring it back to walking.
Now do it again, and again, and again. Practice makes almost, kinda, never really perfect.
Sana, yeah, go, go! They're right there. They're going after your one. You got it?
Yeah.
Whoa! Vai, está todo el bollo, Obi.
Sí. We don't hook up already. We don't got one on. Good fish, boy. Good fish. Yeah.
Ay!
The fish here are really spooky. They see boats, they see flies all the time, right? They're residential fish, right? It all depends, like when we get the migratory to come in, that's the fish that's gonna eat, right?
They do not want to stop. On any given day, there's a marine biologist or eco-educator staying at El Pescador. That's because conservation is core to the lodge's mission.
El Pescador has been here for 43 years now. It really was the beginning of the fly fishing industry in the country of Belize. And I think we carry that tradition and take it very seriously. I'm most proud of our conservation efforts in helping the country of Belize become the first country to legislate catch and release for tarpon and bonefish and permit.
During our stay, Edel Perez and his associate John Windsor are tagging bonefish as part of Edel's PhD program.
We don't have much data to use to be able to guide management and conservation of the resource. So we need this data to be able to lobby for conservation efforts or further management efforts.
Edel and John are hoping that the hard lessons learned in the U.S. can be applied in Belize and beyond.
If a fishery isn't managed correctly, it can collapse. We've seen that all over the southern U.S. and the Gulf of Mexico, and here we're faced with the same problem. Bonefish, up until recently, were allowed to be caught, were allowed to be killed and kept. It was until about 6 years ago that catch and release was introduced, and since then bonefish populations have been slightly coming back.
To close out our final day, we order up a double. No, not that kind of double. This kind.
Yeah! Double! It's easy. Take your time. Yeah.
Feels like we've covered a good chunk of Ambergris Caye's 400 square miles of flats. Hour-long runs have been commonplace. Today, it's off to Savannah Caye, hoping to find the final jewel in our Grand Slam crown.
Oh, I see them. Right in front of you. Right in front of you. Oh, that's a big tarpon. Where? Right down there.
It appears the Silver King is not going to cooperate. But come on, a double permit is equal to a single tarpon, right?
Yeah, look at him go. Hey, right here. Come on, bro. There. Hook it. Yeah. Double. Woo! It's easy, take your time. Cross. Dale, vamos, este se está acabando. Es grande. So that little crab I put you, that's good for him, you see?
On the menu, today's fresh catch, grilled chicken, and lobster. During dinner, awards and handshakes are shared, as rounds of applause and the whisper of the shoreline serve as the soundtrack. Our slam wasn't grand, but that's okay. The flats are under no obligation to make your day or week.
What we try to do every day is control everything that we can control, and weather is clearly out of our area of expertise. So not every trip to El Pescador are you going to get a grand slam, but we hope to make your stay as warm and as welcoming as possible, and the food as good as possible, and the beds as comfortable as possible, and the bar as fun as possible, and that we can control and do.
Now, it's time to sign off. It's a small fraternity of people who've been to this 21 guest room resort on a remote Belizean island. A connection not of blood or ancestry, but shared experiences. Here, family is not a bond measured in generations, but in fleeting, extraordinary moments. This lodge makes us kin of a different kind.